Hello, look at me. You're seeing this side of the camera. I got a box in the mail today of something that I purchased on eBay. So we're going to open it up together. And we can be disappointed together if that's what happens. If not, I don't anticipate disappointment, but I'll tell you all about it. So let me get my contraption here that holds the camera. Here's the box, Listerine. Where in my house do I have a sharp object? Where was I when I was trying to slit my wrists last? Oh yes, that was right here. So let's just slice this open. I'm trying to do it in such a way that I'm not showing you people from whence this came. I mean, I don't care whether you know where it came from or not. Okay, we have now worked on that. We open it up, and there's a piece of foamification and bubble wrapification. More foamification, a big heavy thing, and there should be, I guess that's it, some more foam here. Okay, this is the interesting part. This is the less interesting part, so I'll save the best for last. I once was at a friend's house, and there was a mannequin head sitting on a shelf. And, you know, one of these somewhat realistic mannequin heads with eyes and a mouth. And I think it might have had painted hair, but it could have just been a bald, wigless mannequin head. And it had an address and some stamps on the side of it. And the people who owned the house said, this came in the mail the other day to us. And I laughed out loud because the thought of, you know, the sorting bins at the post office and a human head comes down the conveyor belt. I thought, well, that would have been a cool thing to see. Okay, now can you guess what this is? Of course you can. It's a desk base for you should know by now what these are. Well, or not. I don't care whether you know or not. Well, yeah, of course I do. I care. I care a lot about you. These are two sockets for two Eversharp pens, which are in here. Now, these days on eBay, when you're buying pens, almost everyone and their brother will say flexible nib, because everyone knows everyone wants a flexible nib. Well, these said flexible nibs, and we're going to find out if they were correct in their assessment. And they looked to me like they might be flexible. And they might be sort of the rubbery kind of flexibility that I sometimes expect to find in a Wall Eversharp pen, and ones which I often like to provide and sell to fix up and repair and sell to people who draw with these, or write with them, but not do calligraphy because they're too brash and bold and whatever for that. Well, that one seems it. This one seems it. They both seem flexible. Well, good for that person who described them that way, because I believe, in fact, they are flexible. But not in a overly flexible way that you guys want over here, but in a way that I might want and that guy over there might want. Good for drawing. So let's try them out. These pens are missing something. Yeah, they're good for drawing. Good, I'm very happy about this one. These pens would have had a little gold band up here, and for some reason they were removed. And I don't know whether I have a gold band that I can put on them or not, but I'm very happy about this one. Let's try this one. This one seemed the finer of the two. It is finer. It's still very flexible. I mean, it's flexible in the way that drawers like them. So good. I'm very happy with this. This was a buy it now purchase rather than a auction, and I thought about it for a good long while before clicking the buy it now, because I just wasn't sure. Do I need another desk pen in my life? And do I need another double desk pen in my life? No, I don't need this. I don't need these nibs either. These nibs could migrate to a pair of Skyline pens and be sold at the next pen show, or I may just keep them find the two bands that go on this set and just keep it as a set and sell it to you or you for a set, or I might just keep it myself. There is something, I've mentioned this before, and I might as well mention it again, because I can. This is my whatever you call it channel, and I can say whatever I want. This one had a lot of teeth on it. Whoever owned this desk set grabbed this pen to think, and they gnawed on this thing, the end of this, to come up with the right word on their eviction letter. Dear Mrs. Jones, you and your 8 children will be evicted forthwith. And then he put it in his mouth and he thought, cross that out immediately, because that's what he did. This one doesn't have as many teeth marks on it. Now, he could have used this pen with red ink for his bookkeeping, and this, because he made so much money, he was using this one with the black ink all the time. But who knows? We can think about this all day long if we want to. Anyway, what I like about, let me explain a minute what it is about these pens that I like. I, as many of us, do a lot of work at our desks. And desk pens that sit on a desk are great because there they are. They're part of the furniture. And what's even better is, let's say I suddenly had this urge to write this eviction letter. I could take my pen out of my pocket, 1001, 1002, 1000. Already 3 seconds of my valuable time is wasted taking it out of my pocket. Then I unscrew it. There's another 2 seconds, and I post the pen, and then I do this, and then, I've got both hands have to be functioning to make this happen. I could be, scratching my head with my left hand and just pick this up in 1001 seconds. And I could be writing that eviction letter immediately. So the speed at which you can yank this pen out of its socket, you don't have to uncap it. It's all ready to go. And that eviction notice is half written by the time it takes you to take this out of your pocket, let alone unscrew it and post the pen and get ready to write your letter. So if you have a desk pen, if you have a desk, You need a desk first, or a table. If you have a desk or a table and you have a desk set like this, filled with a pen and filled with ink, to yank it out of the socket and to write, it's a good thing. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, if you don't write eviction notices every day, you might find that the ink might dry a little bit on the nib because it's not as airtight as you'd like it to be. But if you use the pen every day, I can't imagine you'd have a problem with it. But the other thing that's really neat about this is the length of these pens and the fact that there are just one long tapered stick with a point in the end of it. There's a way that you can sort of play with the positioning on your hand really, really interestingly. And you can draw in a way that, you know, might work better for you with a longer tool. I once saw one of my very favorite artists is Saul Steinberg, and I saw a video of him drawing, and I was shocked, I tell you, shocked. He was holding the pen way back here, and these were dip pens, and he would draw with beautiful control, but he's holding it way farther back than I would have thought. I would have thought he would have been holding it like this, like all of us hold a pen, but he was holding it more like this. And it really was amazing to see how beautiful he was able to control the tool from way back here. And that's really how painters paint. You know, when they have a paintbrush in their hand, they're not holding it like this. They're holding it way back here so they can see what they're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's pretty darn good to actually see what you're doing. So this pen, a desk pen like this, is easier to control because it's one piece. If I held this pen back far, I'm sort of writing with the cap and this could fall out, and it's not as certain that I would be able to, you know, draw with the security of knowing that it's not going to do that. So anyway, I'm very happy with this set. I hope I have two little gold bands I can put in here. Now this may have had a black band and the other one may have had a red band. And again, why they're not on this, I do not know, but I knew that they were not there when I bought the thing on eBay. So all in all, I'm very happy with this. And yes, do I need another desk pen? No. This is another piece of marble in my house that will go with the other pieces of marble and onyx and glass and all the other stuff that these things were made of. But it's a nice little set there. Ta-da! Well, thank you for experiencing the joy, in this case, of opening this box. This could have been disappointing, yes. It could have had a nib that was very stiff, but it looked like it was flexible. I knew enough. The person said it was flexible, and the nibs looked like they were flexible based on the shape and the length of the tines. And I expected them to write the way they're writing. And I'm just happy that they weren't fucked up or they weren't smoothed. A lot of people will go to a pen show and you'll see a pen that has been ground down, and when that happens my heart sinks, because there's a certain tooth to a pen nib that I think is really valuable. And it's removed when someone polishes a nib too much. And you'll end up with a very smooth, but to me unsatisfying feel. It's like mashed potatoes that come out of a box. You know, there's no lumps in them, but there's also nothing else in them either. They're just smooth and boring. And that's what polished nibs are like to me. I like to hear that little bit of a noise, that little bit of grittiness to it that I think what it does is it creates a nice thin line because of the two halves of the iridium are sharp. Let's see if I can describe it. Here's our iridium ball, and it's sliced down the middle with a saw, and you've got two hemispheres essentially. They're rounded on the outside, but the inside they're sharp. I mean, they're flat. And this little edge right here, in order to make the thinnest line, that little edge has to be sharp. And sometimes when one gets a nib that has been, quote, polished, the ends are slightly rounded here, which might make it seem smoother, but you're not going to get that sharp line that you want, that really fine sharp. So that's the end of my lesson. Anyway, bye.